Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly Noyantis user group meeting. Today is the 15th of Jan 2018. As always, welcome everybody, and if you've got any questions or problems or issues or suggestions, then raise a hand, we'll get the microphones open and we'll discuss your requirements. Until obviously we're waiting for questions, and I'll just open the questions box so we can see a quick update of where we're up to on the products. And one quick one was to do with the calendar control. If I quickly open calendar application, actually wouldn't really be in this one. Thinking about it, but in the main example application, I did find a bug in the actual raw template, and it was to do with the overriding the built-in icons. So just let me open up one of the example apps, and I'll show you where the bug was, and so you know that the fix is imminent. So won't be a second. So the actual issue was related to the reminders. We can see it manifested here. So on the calendar template, you have the option of adding your own icons, which you can see here. This has got like a little envelope and
Okay, we lost Andy. He just disappeared. Or I did. Okay, so type in the questions box if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me, but Andy's screen disappeared, right? Okay, good. So it's not just me. Okay, well, we'll wait and see if he comes back. I'll send him a message. Oh, there he is. You're back.
I haven't a clue what happened there. It says it's still being recorded. So apologies for that. I was working away, the screen flickered, and then it said, go to meetings, experience technical difficulties.
Yeah, it did.
So that's good to know. It's not just my software then. Okay. Well, I'm not sure where we got up to, so I will.
Well, we can't see your screen. You gotta share your screen again.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I can set it there. There you go.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I haven't a clue what happened there. That was GoToMeeting, but okay. So we were having a quick update. I will go into the resource template, which we obviously started discussing a while ago, but we actually discussed last week. But I just thought I'd make you quickly aware of a bug that I found in the calendar template, which has been fixed, and it will come out in the next set of updates for all of the products. And the bug in the calendar template was related to custom icons. So you can add your own icons to a calendar event. So you can see this has got like a little card. This has got a little user icon and an envelope and so on and so forth. And then you've got some actual built-in icons. So for example, we can see this is a meeting, and if I put private on there, I should imagine we get a little lock and the meeting icon. And these are custom icons that you've got built-in ones. There's 5 built-in icons for the actual product. They are meeting, private, meeting, private, recurring, an exception to that recurring event, and an occurrence of that. A reminder. So yeah, sorry, an occurrence, an exception, a meeting, a private, and a reminder. So now you can see here, there's a fault manifesting itself straight away. We can see there's 5 reminder icons and the actual built-in icon, if everyone can see, which is a very small bell to the right of the event. So I go back out and go back into that one, and it's painted our override, the bell, but it's kept the original Kojak one, and it shouldn't do. Basically, you should never get that scenario, and that was the issue. And it's because basically the 5 internal icons, the reminder, the private, the meeting, and so on, those 5 have an internal ID of -1 to -5. But we was coding -1 for something, for another basically scenario for the whole product suite. So that one was the bell, the reminder, wasn't being overridden correctly. That's now been corrected. So if I was to take this application, so I will actually do it so we can see the fix live. So let me just bring that in so we can see it. There's today's webinar. They are the masters. So just open up the example application. We won't compile, so we'll just run, and we can see it manifest itself again. So we can see here, to get the other icons, the main ones we're interested in is this meeting one, the private one, and the bell, which is the reminder one. And there's the fault. So if I was to turn off the private, the lock has disappeared. That's great, but the bell has been added numerous times, which is the fault. A quick recompile of that. Oh, in the 2013 theme, you don't get to override it, so let's put it back to 2010. That's a limitation of the Kojak theme, not of our template, of course. Go back to the reminder, and there's the one in question, and we'll put the lock on to the private, and that appears, but we're only getting the reminder once, which is correct. And if we turn the reminder facility off, it disappears. So that's a quick fix. Apologies for that. I can't actually believe it's never been picked up before, but it had. So apologies, and as you can see, it's fixed, and that will come out in the next build. So we've already got a couple of questions, or one question, so that's good. I will give a quick update on our centralized resource. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll quickly. No, we're going to go into this one. So work is progressing, not quite as far as I wanted, but progressing nicely for what is there. So that's quite good. And I would, I'll explain for those who haven't seen so far what the idea is behind this, and then by all means, please all jump in with suggestions, and if you can think of something that I've missed, or you know, a way of doing something better from a UI point of view, by all means, you know, jump in and tell us that. Sorry about that. I've got beeps coming in my ears, and I'm not quite sure where they're coming from. So, okay. So the idea behind the resource template is, this was John's idea. Give credit to John, of course. Quite a while ago, something like maybe summer last year, something like that, John, maybe even earlier. And John, like many of us, you've got a multi-DLL application. It doesn't have to be multi-DLL, of course, but in that scenario, you had a multi-DLL solution. The various products were being used in different applications. So let's say you've got 10 apps Each of them got command bars in there. A couple of them might even have property grid in there and report controls, and that's good. And you then switch from CodeJock version 17 point whatever to 18 point whatever. Well, you would have to go into all 10 applications and change the 2 or 3 occurrences in each of those applications. So of course, you're into 20 or 30 different changes just to change the CodeJock version. And if you're doing other changes like changing the color theme, then you're into that same work again. So the idea was to create one centralized resource template. And what you would do on that is add it. If it's a multi-DLL, you would add it to the core data app, put all your specifications, all your properties and so on that template. And then on each of the others, you would say, I want you to take these settings, the generalized settings from the main data, from the resource template, which of course would be set to multi-DLL. If it's not multi-DLL, you can still do that. So you've got a single exe app, but you have multiple different products in there. So you might have a calendar, report control, command bar, skin framework, property grid, and task panel. Quite common. Even if I knock a quick single exe app together, chances are I'm using 7 or 8 different products, all on the same app. Again, you can use the resource template and set each one of the others to take their settings from the resource, meaning if I ever wanted to change from CodeJock 17 to 18, I would go to the resource template, change the version number, and hey presto, all of the other templates would change automatically. The same with setting of the color theme, so on and so forth. So that's the idea behind it. So there will be a new setting on here. This is the normal calendar interface. There will be on each of the products a new, basically a new setting to say there'll be a new tab, basically saying you want to take the settings, which will be all of these, as you can see here, from the new resource template. And the resource template is here. So is it a multi-DLL solution? That's great. If it is, you would add it to the data, as we say, put all the settings in it, and if not, and you would add it to each of the other apps as well. But the settings would come from the main data one. And if it's not multi-DLL, you can still add it, but you put your settings straight on this one. Your settings would be your CodeJock version with the hotfix and Unicode, as you normally do. The theme selection, but of course the theme selection at this point is restricted. It only allows for external themes. So the Office 2007, 2010, 13 and 16, Resource, Visual Studio 2012 and 2015, and Windows 7. And the reason for that is they're common to all of the suite, but all the other particular settings like Office XP, some products do support it, some don't. So if you still want to go using different themes in different products, then really the resource probably wouldn't be the best option for you. I'm trying to go with one generalized setting. My original thought was to have these settings on the resource per product, but in reality, I don't think many of our users work that way. The reality is most of our users work from one common setting. So that's the idea. Who knows, if in the future we do get people saying, we do want to use the resource, but on this one particular application, we do want to override, then we can add override facilities in the future. So, but for the first pass, so to speak, you will be able to set the CodeJock version on this resource, the theme, as you can see, the image resource. If you do utilize your images in one central image repository, maybe a DLL you ship with your application, and the language, if you are multi-language and you ship French, for example, by default, or Spanish by default. And then your licenses. So instead of putting all the licenses on each one of the template instances against the whole solution, you will go into the licenses, choose the products that you use in your solutions, and put the relevant validate code in against each one of the products. this will then be available for the other instances to be able to pick up and use and apply accordingly. Next to that will be your debug and performance. Did question whether we need to really centralize those, but in reality, I think you would. So again, we've put them to the new resource template as well. So basically, if you compare that to the calendar, imagine, if you will, you have the new switch which says take my settings from the resource. Then this tab will essentially disappear, along with the register needs coming across actually. Yeah, I thought I'd done that, but along with that and that and that. So basically, those will disappear because you won't need them anymore. You will just have one new tab and then the usual update history. Any questions or feedback on that? Or have I missed anything? Obviously, apart from the register. But yeah, that register will go on the new template. So this setting, as you see here, especially with the reg3com, that will go onto here.
Yeah, I think this looks really good. The only thing I might do is with the licenses, put a button on there instead of all the licenses, and have the button call up all the license screens, just because of people hitting it once in a while. But
like so. So when you say in this one, include, and now we changed it to a button.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean I can put that onto a button.
Just one button is all you would need. Then pop it up. It's just to hide it.
The only thing I'd say about that is basically I could do that, but I need to know which ones I'm triggering, if you will.
Well, I'm just saying that would have a button, and the button would call up that screen that we're looking at right there.
Oh, right. I understand. So yes, yeah. I mean, we can do that. So
just to keep people from showing them on webinars. that's the only thing.
Yeah. No, agreed. The amount of times I've done it, and also had to edit the recordings afterwards.
But this is great. I love this. I mean, that's so easy. Just do it in one place, and that's it. And I like the performance being all in one spot, and the themes being able to match them all up together, so every product has the same theme. That's really good.
I do think. I mean, I think if I can think of one particular setting, it would be the theme. I don't think the version. The original cut, which we started months ago, because I still had, that I've got it open here on the other window. The original version, which we started live deving, did allow for you having different versions of different products, all on the central resource template. But in reality, the only justification would have been potentially the charting, where prior to version 15, it did support 3D charting, and then after version 15, they didn't support 3D. So I know that Dave Bratovich does like to use the older version of the charting, but since was it 15? I forget. But now the latest version have reintroduced the 3D, so there's really not the justification for that. So I can't see why anybody would want to do it. And if they did, they don't have to use the resource template. It's there to help. But if it doesn't give you what you're after, you can carry on working the old way perfectly well. So no one's really losing out in my mind.
Cool. William Rollins has a question about the multi-DLL tab. I'll open his mic.
Okay, yep.
There you go.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Bill. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, if you click on the multi-DLL tab, if you would, please.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that doesn't look the same as what I thought I saw. But, okay, I'm going to, you would put this in the data DLL, correct?
Yes, yes.
And then you had a place there where you typed in the name of an EXE.
The image.
Oh, okay. I guess. Okay, it was in the general. I'm sorry. How would that affect if, like in my case, I use a files DLL, but then then I've got a couple regular DLLs.
I'm going to probably have to, because I'm at the implementation stage of the template at the moment. Literally from a dev point of view, it's exporting particular settings I need and so on, and I'm just at the point where I'm making the other templates pick up those settings. So it's close, it's going along nicely. But yes, that kind of thing would come out in the wash, so to speak, as an English phrase. But yes, basically come out in testing. You are right. I'm going to probably have to put that on some kind of switch, because the idea behind the image resource is different from the language resource.
Well, my thing is I've got multiple EXEs that use that share the same DLLs and especially the files DLL.
That's fine. What's the significance of the files DLL? Is that the main data one? Is that like your central app, so to speak?
Yeah, that my data DLL.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's not really for that. Let's just take a step back. For the language resource is just an external DLL that is shipped from CodeJock. And that changes the language of any internal prompts. So that's nice and self-explanatory. So if you are using a different language, be it French, German, Norwegian, Dutch, doesn't really matter.
No, I'm talking about the image.
But the image one, that's something that we do. And basically what that is just to basically identify what that is. If you normally, let's say you've got an application, a solution with 10 apps, you've got your main exe, 8 procedural DLLs, if you will, apps, and 1 central data app. Now, if you was to do a Clarion, each one of those different apps add at least 1 window in there with some buttons on there with icons on those buttons. Those icons would be compiled into each of them. So let's say you've got main exe, proc 1, proc 2, proc 3, all the way to proc 8, and then the data DLL. So in the proc 1 to proc 8 application, creating proc 1 to proc 8 DLL, those icons would be compiled into each one of those DLLs, and that's perfectly fine. And that's the Clarion way of doing stuff. So when Clarion wants to access a compiled in icon, it will do from there. Now, chances are we've all got insert, change, delete buttons, or maybe save and cancel buttons, OK and cancel buttons, icons. Now, if you've got the insert, change, and delete in each one of those 8 procedure applications, then you are technically compiling in those 3 icons into each one of those DLLs. And that's fine. That's the way Clarion's always done it, and it still will continue to do it. What you can do is, if in your procedures, you say, in your template settings for our templates, you say, I want to use the insert DLL, but you compile all of those into just a standalone resource DLL. No windows, no anything. It's just really just an empty application, and you compile a load of icons into there. Now, you can ship that, and that will be one centralized, nothing more than an image resource DLL. And you can tell the CodeJock control or our template to don't look in the local DLL or exe for the images, look in one central place for them. Very, I'll be honest, I'm not really sure how many people actually use the function. Everybody goes with the default. So I'll probably go with a tick box here, just expand this a little to wrap this in a checkbox to say enable, disable. And if it's disabled, then it will look at your standard generated output. So if it's proc1 app, it'll be proc1 DLL. And if it's main.app, then it'll be main.exe. So it would look in there by default, which is a good 99% of the users who use probably 99.9% of the users who use the templates. The other facility came about if you were doing a multi-DLL solution and you really wanted to be a bit swish, wanted to, instead of keep compiling icons which you used in your shortcut bars or your command bars and so on into each one of the DLLs and bloating the size of the DLL, you can just compile them into one central one and get all of the applications, all of the separate DLLs and exe and so on, drawing its icons from one central repository. That's the idea behind it.
So that could say my image.dll, not, it doesn't have to be an exe.
Exactly. Oh no, it wouldn't be. This is just defaulting to the output of this solution, this application.
Oh,
So,
okay. I got
yeah,
you.
that's just defaulting to that. So, and if I was to create a brand new app called, TCS.app, and its output was TCS.exe, then that would fill itself in by default to TCS.exe, that type of thing. So that's what I mean. So I can probably wrap that in a checkbox to say, use default output, and that'll be more than sufficient. But if anybody did want to be, like I say, be a bit swish and say, I don't want to bloat each one of the DLLs with the same icons, I just want one central repository, then that's really where you could override and say, I want you to draw the icons from my images.dll.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense. Yeah, because I'll create several EXEs from my one set of DLLs.
Yeah. So and that's fine. And on what we'll do, like I say, we're at the implementation, not quite at the testing. I think final testing stage, so we're only at implementation. But that will probably be wrapped in a checkbox to say, and it will be checked by default to say use default output, and that will more or less make it backwards compatible for literally all our users. Even I don't use that particular facility all the time. I have done in a couple of solutions, but you have to. It's a design choice, and you have to go out of your way to make use of it. I mean, the principle behind it is good. Smaller DLLs, and you're guaranteed to have the correct icons for the whole suite because they're all drawing from one central repository. And if you wanted to change the look and feel of all your command bars, you wouldn't have to recompile your app. You could just recompile your myimages.app and get a new myimages.dll, ship that, and all of the images have just changed for your whole application without changing any of your other EXEs and DLLs. So the idea behind it, design-wise, is quite swish. It's just not the Clarion way of doing stuff normally.
Yeah, I understand. Thanks.
And Roberto, I'll just open Roberto's mic, but Roberto has literally just echoed what I've just said. Hi, Roberto.
Yep.
So yes, you get the principle behind where, just like you have color themes, you could have your icon themes all stored in one central.
Usually, if you have it inside your EXE, well, it's kind of hard to change your EXE. But if you have an icon repository, a DLL or something, then you can actually, change the color of it, or have several of them.
Yeah, and that's the idea behind the image resource. So although they, from a prompt point of view, they both look very similar of image resource and language resource, the principle is the same. The image one is under our control. The language one is a codejog file, or what it's expecting there.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
So, Bill, that happy? Hopefully.
Oh yeah. No, that was just why.
Excellent. No, very good. So, we've got a question to go to shortly, but any other feedback? The only thing I can see us needing would be, so we've got this here, and we've said we are going to go with Office 2016 by default. A Word white. That's great. When we go to each one of our, because it's not just the calendar which I'm using for example here, it will be all of the product suite. Then you will have the switch to say a new tab, which will be use. Currently in mine, it's actually dragging some stuff from there, but use resource template, which will then automatically it'll ask you for multi-DLL or not, but that will turn all these particular tabs off. And I think the only thing we would have on this there is an override for the theme selection, because it's about the only thing I think you would want to potentially override. The example off the top of my head would be you want Office 2013 or Office 2016 against the whole product suite, but I've had an application where I've had it using the Office 2010 actually, as it was at the time, for the whole suite. Everyone loved it except for the task panels, and they still like them to be in the Office XP theme, and that was down to the user preference. So that would be an override on just one of the procedures which contain the task panels. So that's where I think we're potentially, but whether that goes into V1 or whether we V1.1, so to speak, and it goes in as another update where we allow for the overrides in the future, I suppose you guys will drive that more than me. Okay, so moving on then. So that's the resource. I should imagine, I did hope for it today, but next week's webinar, we'll take another look at it and hopefully actually see it both in a standalone EXE, which is the one we're on here now. This is a test app that I'm working on, and both in a multi-DLL as well. So you'll be able to see it in both scenarios and see the actual implementation point of view from it. Okay, so we've got a quick question here from Brian. Brian, let's open the mic. If you've got a mic, put you on the spot, so to speak.
Yeah. No, can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, great. I just had and I posted it on our Skype chat, but it was just a quick question about the tab, and I wanted you to look and see how it's working in our program here.
Okay.
And then maybe you could just give me some type of idea on what I need to do to fix this.
No problem. Can I make you presenter if you want to show your screen?
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm all set up for you.
Okay, so it's winging its way across to you now. There you go. Should get a prompt to say share my screen.
Okay. Let me know when you can see it, okay?
Customer name file maintenance?
Yep, that's exactly right. And when I hit tab, now I've disabled your template for right now just to show you that it works, and then I'll go back in and enable the template and show you what the difference is.
Okay.
But when this customer file name maintenance browse opens and a customer, they normally move around by using tab so that they can move quicker through our application. You can see that it will tab right to the locate and then the different places. Well,
yes.
If we go in here and go to your extension. Hopefully it won't take forever to build it.
That's no problem.
There.
Okay,
right
so
now, you can see that I have your nice template on here. But the screen went blank. Hang on one sec. All right. So now if I hit tab, it doesn't go to.
Yeah, it's taking that keystroke itself.
Yeah, but it doesn't even if I continue to hit tab, it doesn't go up here to any of these. So it's only cycling between the control box, the print, and the edit. It's not hitting any of the others.
That's probably the design of the tabbing order, if you will. So purely by from a design point of view, it's tabbing from field 1, field 2, field 3, coming across the OCX control, and then that is basically swallowing the tab key from there. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be purely from a tab order point of view. So okay, now believe it or not, I kind of expect that kind of behavior from it. Mm-hmm. I know from an edit in place point of view, it will definitely want the tab key to take, it will definitely want to take charge of the tab key itself because it'll be tabbing between these different columns. Mm-hmm. But of course, when it's not in edit in place, and if you're not using edit in place, then it'd be nice for us to intercept that tab and pass it along, if you will. Just
I'm not using I'm not using edit in place in any of my browsers. I don't think you're talking about where a user can actually edit the fields within the browser.
They can, yeah. So what I suggest there is what we can do is let's take a quick look back here. One, let's see if we can actually trap the key and make it emulate, the Clarion way, and we'll see about putting it as a template update. But in the meantime, I can actually I don't know if you're putting this on a lot of windows. If you are, wait for the template update.
Yeah, it's already. I'm already in a tremendous amount of all of the modules have different browsers. And all of the browsers, I don't forget how many, but it's hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's not necessarily. I can't even blame Kojak for that, because I think that's Clarion's way. When you tab in between entries, when you tab into an active OLE container, not necessarily it was a non-initialized one, I think it'd be fine. But if you tab into an active OLE container, then it passes all keystrokes over to that. So it's not necessarily a Kojak. You could be using another control there, and it would still take, because that's Clarion's implementation of it.
Even though I can undo the template or disable the template, and it works fine.
Well, that's what I mean about being an initialized control.
Okay.
If the OLE container is present but really not doing anything, actually, when you disable it there, it's not even initializing the control. It might not even be. It won't even be declaring the control. So
I got you.
I think an OLE container non-initialized will still pass its tabbing through and so on, so you'll be fine. But the minute you put any type of control into it, be it Kojak, be it whatever, I think it wouldn't start swallowing the keystrokes.
Okay.
That's not to say that we can't work around it. Just give it a bit of Clarion background on it. So let's take a look and let's see what we can do.
Okay. I can give you a mouse control if you want to.
I'm going to do it on a test app here because then it'll be fast.
Okay. Sure.
So bring back here.
Yeah.
We'll emulate it first, which will just literally be compile the test app, and then we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Those who are waiting for recordings, I think we're only outstanding to last week's recording, and that's converted. It should be going up straight after this. I just converted it prior to this webinar. I'll convert this one, and they both can go up at the same time. Okie dokie. So just go with simple list one, and yes, you can see I'm on there. I'd expect it to tab through the prompts to the entry onto this eventually. So there to there, and yes, it swallowed it as we would expect. So that's a good enough one to try. Go simple. There we go. We'll check our tabbing sequence. So we'd expect it to go prompt, entry, to that button, and then onto the OLE. So what we want to do, I'm just going to find the key code for the tab key. I can't remember it's key tab. I should imagine it is, but let's just open the Clarion folder. So we can always change the template live while we're here, which help you going forward. So it's tab key. So what we want to do to prove the concept is we're going to listen for that keystroke. The tab key. That's a Clarion equate, by the way. And if it detects that it's got to listen for keystrokes and one actually occurs, then, and this is common to all the products, we would get a trigger of key code or keystroke. There it is, keystroke. Passes the actual key code in. So we're just going to put a message up to see can we trap it. Oh, sorry, wrong one. That one. So we're on here, tab, 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 and we've got it. So we can intercept. Yeah, that's good. So what I was kind of hoping is, instead of the message, can we ask it to select field +1? So then it should take note of the active field being the OLE container, and then go to the next one after that in its tabbing sequence. So tab, tab, tab. I should imagine that is set to skip. Let's just check those, but that looked like it was working. And it is set to skip, and I bet that one's turned to skip as well. So from a template point of view, it'll be extremely easy to implement, which is good news for you. So yeah, tab. That's what you're after, that kind of feel. That's all up and down there. Tab, back to the entry, tab to that, tab to the button, tab to that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do. Report control. Let's have a quick look in here, because we've got to keep it. It's going to be off by default, because I've got to keep it backwards compatible, and I don't want to really go and break anybody's systems. So I'll probably put it under. Yeah, put it under here. We've got to select control, so that becomes the active control when the window first opens. I'll probably put it on a checkbox here. Allow tab. Try to think of the wording. Include in tab order. Would that anyone got any feedback? Yep. Because basically, I'll look to put this on more of our products. So let's open up the report control template and do that live, if nobody minds. And it might be that I'm able to get a beta across to you of that one.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Devin on the other screen there. That's a bit rude of me. It's not the 4th of December. Take time. Yes, there would be another bug in this. Sorry, another fix in this. Oh, might as well do that while I'm there. And it's the appearance tab. So what we're going to do is, because I can see this coming in handy for everybody, we're going to put it as part of our common class. We'll have a new property. Include in tab order. Off by default. Actually. And won't be a second. I'll have a quick look at where we do keystroke. Sorry, it won't be a second. Hello? Won't be a second, sorry, just got somebody here. Sorry about that, everyone. So basically, yeah, this is where some of the magic happens from the common class point of view. So we'll say this new property, if that equals true, and basically we want the key code. That should do it. A quick proof of that would be, let's just go into our thing here, compile that with a new common class. It shouldn't work. We'll take our code out, of course. Take that code out as well. So compile of that should mean that it won't work. Okay, that's thrown me because I wouldn't have expected that to work then. Do you know what? I'm actually going to go back to our very original one, which is our default app. It's good that it's working, but from a test point of view, I wouldn't have expected it to actually work there. So should we reconvert it from Clarion 6? A base run of it, which is exactly what we're after. Yep, that's good. Undo that line. I still want to make sure it doesn't do it. Yeah, that's as expected. Now, I haven't a clue what happened there. Well, basically, it's looking for this, but of course that property's never been set.
Right.
Okay. So what we will do is, in our simple, there it is. Just to prove it, we will manually put a line in here to say probably not in there, in the init complete or init template settings. And we'll just override that with self.include in order equals true. Now I would expect, and all we'll do now is put a template prompt to set that true or false.
You may still have them listed as skip in the properties.
But it's not going to the.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to the button. I'm watching for this taking focus. I would have expected that to take it.
Well, I thought it did go to the button that time. You're probably right.
Well, let's just take the others out. Okay. And unsetting that should, of course, turn that back off again. That's still taking the keystroke, which suggests to me that that property is set to true. It can be. Something extremely strange going on here. It's almost as though this has already been done elsewhere. Okay. Going to close the application again. Going to physically delete the content of that folder and bring in our example yet again. There's no reason why the... Oh, yep, sorry, I've got to reconvert. Okay, no changing of the class. And we'll just change these to take the select off. Oh, that's skip, sorry. We're now getting the desired effect. What's the tabbing, Brian? What's the tabbing order of yours?
Hang on
What's the next control afterwards? Because I wouldn't expect that to be working at that point.
Let me look at the window real quick. From the start of the window, I have button close, button help, sheet 1, tab 1, then list box, then entry, then prompt, which I know it doesn't hit prompt, but
yeah.
So
not that it makes much of a difference on this, but you've got some stuff beforehand, so I'm going to put a button higher up. So you've got a button, got the OLE, and then you've got an entry and then a prompt.
I have a button, and the sheet, and then a tab. Looks like a tab, use tab 1, so maybe a tab sheet on top of that. Okay. And then a list in my browse one, and then the entry box, and a couple check buttons.
This shouldn't make any difference whatsoever, but
right.
Come on there. Okay. I've got to admit, I'm a little confused, unless we've already done this in the past. We're not tabbing for the tab key anywhere. We've tapped it from the in the property grid exclusive. Well, I mean, before releasing, I'll confirm that, but it'll be another prompt, just as we described earlier. So I'll check that. If you want to send me an email tomorrow, because by the time the webinar's finished, it'll be too late for today. But if you want to send me an email tomorrow, I'll see about getting the beta of this version over to you for testing your application.
Okay.
That okay?
That'll be great.
It's working, but it's working when it shouldn't do. So I'm kind of a little confused. And you're on version 401, so which is essentially this minus the the couple of changes we've done. So yeah, let me try that. I'll make a note for the morning for this. So
hey, do you mind just making sure that do you mind making sure that I'm putting it in the code in the right embed, because I still can't, even though I changed it to do the field select one on mine, I still can't get it to tab. So it may just be.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. We'll bring you back to a presenter just so you can try this on yours. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look. Keystroke, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Select field +1, I would expect. Yeah, that looks good. But have you turned on the trapping of the tab key in the first place?
Yeah. Let's go back to the extension just to check.
Now I wonder if yours, because it's a report control browser enhancer. Yes, there's something there for us to. So tab key on report control plus enhancer. In fact, we'll quickly try that same one here on the enhancer. That might be changing things on yours, because it'll be passing it through, passing the keystroke through to the underlying browse class.
So it's missing everything else. Just going from here to that one to that one.
But hang on, but if you tab, but it is tabbing off it.
It is tabbing off of it, yeah. And I can show you the window if you'd like in the tab order that I have.
Okay, okay. Oh, sorry, yeah. Do you know, it's great. I was looking on the right. I was waiting for you for the right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, it's completely me. So yeah, you got your close, okay, and the help, sheet, tab, and the list.
Now, if I move all of these off of here and put them all onto the window, then I think it will work. But I just didn't want to have to do that for all.
No, and you shouldn't need to neither. To be fair. Okay, let me quickly switch. Let's try that here on ours.
Okay.
So got that. So you've got we've got a sheet. So we've got a clothes and the help. Okay, fine, no problem.
Should I give you back control somehow?
It's I was just making sure we've got your settings there. So let me move that off.
Okay.
And we'll go to one of our enhancers. Just a standard enhancer. Any of them will do. I don't want the alias, I just want it to be, that one will do. Has that got a sheet on it? Yes, it has. So we've got a close. We'll mock up ours, so you've got a close. I'm going to put that refresh to the top outside, a bit like yours, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that. And you've got an entry, a locator. So I'm going to put an entry on there. Is it part of the tab?
It is part of the tab. It's on the tab. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so we'll
it.
put that there, but that is before the list, is it not?
Yes. No, it's list, then the entry locator.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking at it here.
Yeah, so the list, then the entry. So we've got a button on the mainframe.
Yes.
We've got a sheet, a tab, the list,
Correct.
and then an entry, and some other buttons, which we're not really bothered about.
Right.
Okay, so let's take a quick look at this one. So tab. Now I haven't put any code in at the moment, but then again, the class. Let's trap the key. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to put the message out so I know that we've got it. So I'm on there, tab, onto that, tab, off. Got the tab. I'm going to try an explicit select the locator. Oh, hang on. Did I turn the message off? No, we moved it. Oh, there, tab. On there, tab off. It's taking me to the close. They're not set to skip, which I'm sure no, they're not. Wow. Okay, thought that was a bit too good to be true. Okay, Brian, I'm going to have a look at that.
Okay.
It's definitely not the kind of behaviour I would have expected.
Yeah, me too.
Just out of interest, before it does a select message, oh, yeah, we can do, and it's the report control dot OCX control. That's the FEQ of the control that's been created. Oh, hang on, I've got an idea on that then. So locator. And on that, instead of that, I'm actually going to select the report control dot OCX control +1. Missed something on that. Tab off. It says I'm on the 11. The OLE container, sorry, not the OLE container, well, yes, technically the control and the locator is 5. But it's kind of ignoring that. I'll have to put quite a lot of debug in there and run it through the debug trace to have a look exactly what's being selected and when. So yeah, I've got a note. That's an interesting one for tomorrow morning. I think I'll have a fresh mind for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, when you're online, drop me a message and I'll tell you exactly where we're up to.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So how are we doing? Oh yes, 10 past. So David had a question. Where are we? Let's open the mic. That's easier. Hi, David.
Hey, Andy.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good. So you got a question on Chillcat string builder.
Yeah, I was working with the string builder in the Google Calendar sync piece.
Okay. Yep.
I got working, but as I was working on it, I was trying to load like from a database field or from a Clarion string into the string builder. So like if I used the Google string builder and did an append, and told it just to do like a literal string, a quoted string, and it did it, so I could dump it back out again, and
you can emit it out. Yep.
Right. But if I put in a Clarion string or a C string, or tried to put like a quote, quoted, literal variable, like, and then concatenated with something from a Clarion variable, then it wouldn't show it, it didn't set the value.
So what
and I'm trying to figure out like what I was, either I'm just missing something or,
so basically you're adding, so let's say you're adding, the field contains Noyantis, okay, the word Noyantis. What are you adding? Are you adding quote, double quote, Noyantis, double quote?
just quote, so like in the parentheses, the passing or setting, the string value would be parentheses and then single quote, a value, a literal, and then quote and close parentheses, and that works. But if I say, if I just put that same value, like in a Clarion string, beforehand, and then put parentheses and the name of that variable, and then it doesn't set the value. Or if I do a, literal string and, an ampersand, and then the Clarion variable is still, it doesn't set it.
Can we take a quick look? I think I have an idea on this, to be honest. Can we have a quick look at the examples that you're doing? Yeah.
Yeah, let me do that. Did I show it to you?
Okay, I'm just, where are we? Waiting for this? Yes, okay, so got that. So
in this case, I'm trying to get it from a database variable. But I've tried all kinds of things here, just like setting this little variable, insert JSON.
Yep.
And then I end up doing a, either append, I try to append string builder, I try to set string. And when I come back out and it asks for the request as a string, down here, get as string, it doesn't come back, or it doesn't set it. So like, let's just do this here. Let's see. Just say like, oops, didn't need that. And then, so I can say, here's the value.
Yep.
And then try to set it. And then show me what the result is down here.
Yeah.
So here's the variable has that value in it.
Yep.
Oh, it came back out, huh? I didn't expect to see that. So it actually put it in there, huh? Well, it didn't for the 500 times I tried it.
Let's just take a quick look.
Let's see. So I guess I could go back to like this guy. This is a variable.
So you've got that, the append, and that came back as true.
Yeah, it said
going
it.
to message out. You've got no confidential thing in there, have you? In this?
No, it's a. It's like some JSON filled in parameter stuff.
Okay. Just didn't want you divulging, confidential connections.
Yeah, as it pops up there. Huh? I'll be damned. Okay, well.
No, it's not.
Oh,
that was
no,
you.
it didn't.
You're
Okay, yeah, that was mine. I got you. Okay, so.
Yep. So let's just do that again if we can.
I didn't mean to do that. Oh, didn't listen to me. First up. There we go. Okay.
Just want to have a look at the content, and I'm wondering whether. Oh, sorry. If you can just run that again, so we can see what's going to go up to
I see.
it.
I think that's one.
Okay.
So it would be, yes, starting from that after that colon.
Yeah.
So there's the beginning of the JSON stuff.
Right. I think it's because it's got quotes in there, and I think that's going to be our double quotes. Let me have a quick look at the class. Won't be 1 second.
Okay.
So the string builder, you say?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and this return is coming from the the Google Calendar. That's the JSON that they give me back.
I think I have some problems in this area myself as well. Just trying to See how I did there, no string builder. Okay, so you're using, it was append, was it not?
Yeah, I tried a few append and set and.
No, okay, so I'm wrapping the append in double quote.
So you're putting like.
I tell you what, we might need to do on that. Using a JSON object, let me just take a look at this.
Let's just try that real quick. Let's run it.
Okay, can you, have you got a JSON object defined as well? Can you just turn on the JSON? Yeah, so we can play about with that at the same time. Okay, so the JSON object, can you do JSON object.load with the get application registry? Basically, so with that, so you know the insert calendar JSON. So that's brilliant. So you can just do a JSON object. Oh, you do it that way. Okay, I see where you're going. Okay.
The load file worked. So if I do the load file, that's how I actually got around it.
If we do a load, yeah, if we do a load, I just want to see about that string from that. With the insert JSON, get that one, and let's have a quick look. Copy the final message, if you will. That last line.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's paste that, but instead of it being the string builder, let's paste it after the success, sorry.
You mean like right after here?
Yep. And what it's going to be is instead of the, we want the JSON.emit. So you've got the first bit. It won't be SB request. It'll be JSON request or JSON object.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And we want the success. So that's good. But it wants to be JSON.emit. Yeah.
Like that.
Let's just take a quick look at that. Let's see if the JSON's loading it.
Okay, there's the original.
No. It's to do with the content. I run into this. Okay, let's cheat. How did I do it?
Now, if I do the load from file, like I said, if I do a load file from disk, then it loads it into string builder for me. That was the only way and I thought, well, okay, well, you know, I'll keep it on file.
No, it's
but I'd rather have it in the, it should be a database field that we.
Yep, no, agreed. I'm just trying to find how we can. There we go. Basically, it's the content of it.
Totally off. I thought maybe I was just having one of those days, sometimes.
Can you show us the actual? You want the whole string, don't you?
Yeah. What I do is I actually do some replacement. So I'm doing some replacement stuff there that switches out the name and stuff, and then further down, so there's like some replacement variables in there.
Okay. They're both going to suffer the same. Just trying to see how I've loaded it here.
Yeah, I think my. Let's see. No, let's shrink this guy over here. There you go. Yes, I can do like a load string builder from an object, and then there's my load file. Yeah. That guy works.
Just looking here. Load. JSON object. Yeah, that's going to take the string, and it's going to take the. Oh, crikey! I had this exact same problem, and it's because of the content. It's got double quotes in there. We're wrapping what we're passing in double quotes, so it's not seeing the full the full body, if you will.
I did notice that. I mean, a lot of the JSON, it doesn't seem to matter in JSON. It doesn't care, but most of the responses that I get are single. Yeah, there's single quotes around there, but Google looks like they give, double quotes. And I just thought, well, but the JSON validators and stuff take either one.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to see if there's any. Append int, append string, no.
Well, I got it. I said it does work from load from file, so it's not a showstopper or anything. But
because the load from file takes the file, wraps it in double quotes in case you've got spaces in there and so on, in the path and so on and so forth. But then it's reading the actual content and it's fine with that. I mean, okay, I'll tell you what you could try. Bit of a long shot, but let's just try it. Okay, where you've got your where are we? The JSON load, yeah. Let's just change that. Where you've got the google.json.load. Let's have that as instead of load, try OCX direct value.
Oh, on that.
Yeah, instead of the load. So you're going to actually change the word load. Dot OCX direct value. Okay, then the first parameter. So you want single quote, load, open bracket, or parentheses, single quote, space ampersand for your variable, and then on the end, just before, yeah, I'm going to close off the single quote. Oh, the bracket, yeah. So yeah, that's right. Okay, let's just try that, please.
Okay, so we got our original message and the response. Okay.
No. And I think it's the structure, what's going into it, what it doesn't like. And you're going to end up with something similar on the string as well, you see.
Now this guy, like I said, this guy works.
Yeah, it would do.
Because it's just reading it directly from the file.
It's reading it exactly. Yeah, so there's no problem. I've done this. I had the exact same problem, and I can't remember what it was. So that's what I'm just looking at now. Calendar, I've got the load. No, see, that's getting a response. So chances are that the response is already formatted for us.
Yeah, once you get it in there, passing it around seems to work pretty good.
Yeah, it's setting, like you say, it's setting it either in a string builder, and you can do JSON load SB, or getting it straight into the JSON object in the first place, and then you can pass that across to string builder via emit SB. So it's getting the actual content in there. It built when I loaded the PFX. I'm sure it is. JSON key. So yours is the key there, but you want to store it in a variable, yes? Looks like it.
Is it what now?
The JSON content, is that some kind of key, I take it?
It's an event. I think it's just like a skeleton event.
Right.
And
okay. I've got you.
What I do is
manipulate it.
Yeah. So let me run it here. Oh, sorry, run it.
You see there the thing? Yeah. Where did I do my insert event?
Oh, I see. So yeah, it's got like up here. There's a replacement for the name, and then I think there's sort of date stuff in here too. Well, no, this is just a.
I tell you what I did. Yeah, no, I can see why mine. You've got the skeleton there. All the particular elements and so on. I've got a method there called build JSON content from event.
I see. You created it.
I've got an event group. I'll bring it in just so you can see. So I've got an event group already populated with what we need, and then I build.
Well, that'd probably be good.
So that's why it's working for me. I was thinking, well, how did I would have the exact same issue, because basically this is called from where is it, change event or insert event, that type of thing.
Because I think I kind of did that. Like, yeah, my events would be, this guy. So the location, description, summary text, start date, start time, and then just do the replacements on those few variables and then send it.
My screen, but of course we're on your screen. Just let me quickly show you mine, then, because I forgot what was looking at yours.
Oh yeah, I was thinking. Oh yeah, here you go.
Okay, so basically, yeah. Imagine, if you will, I've got my insert event or change event, and in here there is this basically build, and we've got an empty JSON content, and then I build the actual elements just using the update string. So it puts each part in at a time. Now there's nothing stopping. I was going to say nothing stopping you doing that, but you wouldn't need to store the skeleton.
Yeah, yours is probably a little more. Well, probably a little more complete than mine, but
not necessarily. You've got. That's all the core essentials that you need to do with either the override and not. I mean, I can pass you that if you like via. Basically, it's just an event group which is from the calendar class. So you got your subject, you got your body, you got your usual things, and so on and so forth.
I think I did the notes. The notes on there also. But looks like you don't have that.
So
reminders, you got the whole.
Yeah, it
is
stuff.
But just to add anything, I guess would be the thing, just to make it whatever.
Oh, yeah, you just round off any particular things you need, yeah.
Notes, yeah. Okay, well, that's definitely another.
Let me find that across in an email to you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Andy.
But it doesn't answer the particular thing what you want there. Right, that's winging its way across to you to you now.
Okay, thanks.
But it basically, the problem lies in the actual structure. Let me just bring in their thing here, or my class really. The string builder, append, or the JSON load. where's the JSON object or the load? It's because basically it's the content. Some scenarios that work, some scenarios it doesn't.
Yeah,
When it's
I
using
see.
it from file, that's great. It's taking the raw content, and the string builder append can suffer the same thing as well.
Maybe just an option to not do that.
Well, we just tried yours a second ago.
To did it direct. Yeah, I see.
Missiles off.
Not going to help you
So-
anyway. So.
So you can do that, but when it comes across the first one, it can like treat it as a terminator, if you will, and so yeah, it can be a little tricky
Yeah,
to
I
get
gotcha.
that kind of detail in. That's why I built it to element by element.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, it makes sense. I mean, I think I can work around it. So it's not a. As long as I understand, what's. I'm not just losing it.
No.
There's
That
a reason.
same learning curve, exact same problems that I came across. I got mixed results, so you could get some stuff in there, but it was incomplete as well. So that's one of the things that I suffered from at the same time.
I see. That's what you're saying. Yeah, it'll hit the one of them and think it's the end of it.
Yeah. So I was getting sometimes it worked, sometimes it wouldn't, and it'd be a case of this is crazy, it makes no sense. And then it was purely content based what was throwing it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why Google's doing it that way as opposed to the singles, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't look like you can depend on the APIs to be consistent. So
Yeah, but both are valid. So what's 6 1, half a dozen of the other, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. And the resource guy looks really good. That was good.
It should be in a lot more of a complete state by next week as well. So basically, it will. We're not going to be miles off getting it out there.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, John was the one who drove it originally, as you probably remember, because you're quite a common visitor to these. But perfect example. I was going to a meeting last week. If you remember, I had to cut it short. Prior to that meeting, I did a quick. Just a recompile of an app because I wanted to demonstrate it during the meeting, and I thought I'd just change the skin, and it was multi-DLL, and it was split across I think probably 7 or 8 different applications, and I wanted to change the theme. So of course I had to go into each one of the applications and change it. So I was kicking myself just before the meeting, going, "This is crazy!" If we had the change, I could have actually saved myself time here. So. The golden rule: if I need it, it gets pushed up the queue. But no, it's long overdue anyway.
And it is surprising. I mean, how fast they kind of sprawl. Through the. I mean, you use them, a couple places, and they start appearing more, and then another app's got it, and then it just starts.
Yeah, well, changing the
you got a bunch of them.
A Kojak version is probably a more a more frequent change as well, because they've brought out 18.2, and they might bring out 18.3, and you think, I want to keep current, it passed tests, so I want to keep current. And of course, you're into multiple times per app and multiple apps. Before you know it, you've lost a few hours just doing what should be really simple. So yeah, the resource it's long overdue, and it should make life easier for everybody. Multi-DLL and not multi-DLL, just even single EXE will benefit from it as well.
And we do that same kind of thing they were describing earlier. There's a bunch of EXEs, but they're all based out of that common.
Yeah.
They're all based on the same common class stuff, the base and the libraries or something like that, so that you can reuse that stuff. But yeah, being able to change it in one place would be really very nice.
A lot easier. Yeah. So that's the general plan. So fingers crossed we'll be further on, but fingers crossed we'll actually be able to start actually see it in action next week, and then all what's left of that is feedback, testing, and release. So it's not too bad.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think we've got one other quick question. Jesper, you here? You are. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
And the question is about how to change the size of a button on the command bar.
Okay. So let me just.
If you go into your own example app, I can show you what I mean.
Yep, just bringing it in now. Just 1 second. So we're on command bar. Which type of interface? Is it ribbon interface or command bar interface?
No, it's command interface.
Command bar, okay. Okay, so we'll quickly compile that, and this has got some. This example uses a command bar interface by default. Okay, let's have a quick look. You just sent some files through, so let me have a quick look at those. I can see an icon come through. Oh, sorry, just let me choose an office theme.
That's what you want to make sure you have the right size in it.
Okay, so we've got a new icon. I'm just going to save that to this same folder.
Yeah. If you go into the command bar there.
Okay, yes. What is the one? What you sent me an icon? We'll just bring that icon into here.
If you go into the command bar.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
Into the command bar interface. Okay. And which part? The controls?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't really matter on any of these. Any particular one?
Doesn't matter.
Just make sure it's a button. That's save. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
if you want to make that, let's say 48 by 48.
Well, that's the image that it's going to bring out. So you don't want that. But this would be your button. So if we said this was icon and caption.
No. I want the button.
Yeah, this is the button.
Yeah, but you can't control the size in that one. Here you have the text below. I don't want to have the text below. I just want to have the icon.
You just want the icon, okay. But we're going to do the button 48 by 48.
Yeah, but I don't want the icon, then you can push on it. I want the button.
Hang on, you've lost me just 1 second. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do any one of these buttons. We're doing the...
Take this one big as one for 48 by 48.
So you want that button to what? To be 48, you want that button to be bigger, correct?
Yep, 48 by 48. Just
okay. Okay. Button. I've gone past it. Yeah, save there. Okay. So 48.
But you want to make sure you have the right size in the icon.
Yeah, just see, I'm thinking whether that. Oh, I hate it when he does that. Save. Let's put icon only. Let me put icon and caption a second. We'll get rid of it in a second. I just wanted to take note. I'm wondering whether they only really kick in on the ribbon interface rather than on the command interface. But I'll tell you in a second. All that controls is the icon out of there, but okay, we'll go with. I don't think that icon's got that particular icon. Let's have a quick look in it. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, but now it's the icon, and you can't push it.
And I can't.
Okay,
you can still press Yeah, but that mean I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look at the particular icon. You sent me a new one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, what was it? It was new. Come on, what's it called? Oh, open.
Yeah.
Open new. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the one what you sent me. Open with long file. Okay, plenty of icons in that. Open new. Yeah, and there's a 4848.
Yeah.
Let's tell that one to use that. But it's more the size, to be honest. We really should be overriding the size on it. Put this back to auto, and I won't override the thing. So you're getting the icon there, but it's not.
Yeah, but
it's the actual thing underneath it. Yeah, you have a look there, you can see. So it's the control itself. The icon's being chose. So that part, there's two settings to each control. The first one is what size icon do you want to actually use out of the compiled in resource. So you've just seen that change from to whatever it was, probably 1616 to 4848. So it's choosing the right icon. That's an API call to bring it out. But it's the actual control. So that's your image size. That's great. I'm just going to put that back to normal. Actually, no. I'll tell you what we'll do. I want this. It's this I want to actually override. Oh, crikey. No, that's the icon size. There, set control height, set control width. They're the things that I would expect to be taken into account. Be a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just an image, resize image. Hang on, I've got that. 48. I do that large 48 with an automatic. Yeah. Won't be a second. Just want to check that all of that is clickable, which we think it is, of course. There's that. You can click in any corner of it. So that's what you're after, the 48. But why is it that one not doing the same?
Mm.
But well, let's just look at those settings, because they should be. One is, as I say, doing the API call of which size icon do you want to load out of memory, because it's compiled into the resource, so out of the resource. And the other is what size of the actual control. So resize image is button, total load an icon, great. Want it 48 by 48, set to automatic 4848. We go back to our save. button, 4848. I'll set that back to automatic, 4848. All the same. If this don't do it, we'll have a look if there's any other embed code control in the other. Yeah, that's not. It's seeing the actual menu bar instead. Okay. Same code generated. Detect which has been accepted. We look at that code. Just let me try one particular thing. You know the button after the just wondering whether there's a fault there. We have controls, save, and then we have search, which starts a new group. Let me just turn that function off. Will it be in the last one in the group?
Might be that.
No, you can see it's overlapping it. So, oh, that's got a new group anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. That resizes correctly. I'm going to do the same code. Won't be a second. And it was save, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now it's resized correctly.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not taking it. Just 1 second. Save and restore. It's not save and restore, which is overriding it. Let me just try that. No. Can't be something in this data. Basically, the settings are right, as you can see with that button there. Okay,
Yeah.
and there's a slider, although that's not painting in our current theme. I need to have a look at what the theme is in there, you know. And that'll be a theme file. Just 1 second. Eco slash code jock. Put those in there. Won't be a second. Just going to paint this in the very latest theme, so just so we can see the slider, because it's not. We've got a bit of a mishmash going on. Thank you. Okay, so there's our slider. That's dead small. Wrong icon. 18.2. But changing accordingly. But the button is fully.
The icon is not changing. It's only the size at the bottom.
obviously a different version makes a difference to that. Oh, we changed there with the OTX version, so it's going to be down to their loading and painting.
Ja.
Go back to an older one, 16.4. And what I'm doing on the other screen, by the way, so if you wonder, is I'm bringing in the matching style files so that they are in sync.
Okay.
There's definitely a difference in there, but that, you can see that it's not taking, but that one has. That's taken effect. So it wanted a repaint.
Mm-hmm.
They're the lines. Just going to open them. So we'll have that, and then we've got our resize somewhere. Oh, not resize label, so it was resize image. That was the one in question. So we're looking at this. Yes, it's got a different ID. That's
it.
the button, which is the type 1, 4800, the style, automatic, both 48, toggle 0, they are identical. Just checking there's no other code anywhere for the save. Oh, okay. Just at the end of the command bar, I don't want to. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember what the actual command is. It's there's a command for repainting a bar. Redraw bar. No, not that one. controls bar. Just going to get it to actually repaint the bar.
Yeah.
It's as though it's not taking. Why it's doing it for one and not the other? I mean, let's just choose another one at random. Let's do the actual open next to it and see if that makes any difference whatsoever. Ah, there's another save. I bet it's doing that one. Right. Let's call that one save 2 instead of save. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. There was another one on here called save. That's the problem. Now that one won't change, but I bet that one has, which it has.
Yeah.
So it was down to the ID. Your settings, after all that, the settings you want are...
That was button.
So it's a button, yep.
Mm.
The image size I want to draw out of the OCX, the ICO. So if we go to your open, this is default, of course. If we open that, you can see you've got all different sizes there. It's going to go with that one as the default. That setting here on the image, that's the dimensions of the ICO it's going to extract out, the default one. Yeah. And on the button, we want the button to be automatic, so with the caption and the icon and so on, and we want the button to physically be 48 by 48.
So I won't choose automatic. That's what I'm not doing.
Okay, so we could choose 64. Technically, 64. We'll choose the 48 image, but we'll have the 64 size button.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got a much bigger button with a little bit of padding around it.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That threw me, but having two saves, and of course it was manipulating the first one it could find, which was this one.
Take your learning.
Okay. Sorry for the delay on that, but yes, we're there. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hopefully, 2 hours. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. I shall set the recording converting as we speak, at the end of the webinar. I'm going to start wrapping up. Are there any other questions? Nope. It's all quiet. That's good. Until next week. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and I shall see you then.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay. Cheers, everybody. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.